Hello everyone, welcome to SFAB session 2. I hope you all liked our session 1 where we explained about the CRM industry and what's the Salesforce role in it, how much the Salesforce contribution in CRM industry. So from today onwards we are going to start our Salesforce admin journey and we have a new speaker with us. Her name is Anchal Saini. So Anchal, it's all yours.
Hello everyone, my name is Anchal Saini. I am working as a Salesforce consultant for one of the big fours and I hope you all are doing good. Now I have total 4 years of experience in Salesforce and today I am your session speaker and I will be walking you through some basics of Salesforce. Before starting the session, I hope now we all have an idea of what CRM is. We know about the CRM industry evolution. We know Salesforce impacting CRM industry and we know about unique Salesforce features. All of these topics were covered in the previous session. And I also believe that you all must know what a developer org is, as Manish showed in the previous session's lab exercise. And you all must be having one for yourself, which would be important for you, so in order to understand these basics of which we are going to cover in these sessions. So let's discuss about today's session agenda. So today we are going to cover two very basic topics of Salesforce, which are objects and applications in Salesforce. First, we are going to understand what basically an object is in Salesforce, what are the two basic types of objects we can use in Salesforce, and then we are going to understand what is an application in Salesforce and how to create one custom application, which would be covered in the lab exercise. Handing over to you, Manish, now in order to understand the business case which we are going to solve in today's session.
Thanks Anchal. So guys, before we start our admin journey, first we all should be aware like what is the business case that we are trying to solve with our admin sessions and the development session. Why we are going to use Salesforce and what is the need of Salesforce in our business case. So before that, let's meet SFDCFacts. So SFDCFacts is an educational and training company which actually hosts online and offline events for training purpose. So till now, they are not aware about Salesforce, so they used to manage their events and speaker data in spreadsheets. They don't know about the online CRM till now. And the spreadsheet contains the data of speakers, sessions, sponsors, and everything that is related to their events. So there are some challenges for SFDC Facts to actually manage their events using the spreadsheet. So as we all know, to share the spreadsheet, you actually need to share it via email, or you cannot actually collaborate on a spreadsheet. So since SFDC Facts is growing very fast, they need some kind of solution where the data can be centralized. That means all the users can see the same data. Employee can collaborate on the data. That means they can actually have a talk, like if there is an event happening, they can actually start a talk on that. And also it can be scalable based on the future needs of sfdcfacts.com. So as a result, SFDCFacts has decided to use salesforce.com instead of spreadsheets to actually implement a business solution for their business case. So it's our duty to actually use Salesforce and make SFDCFacts job easier via our application that we are going to create in our admin journey, and again we are going to advance it in our developer sessions as well. Now Achal will walk you through about today's agenda and the topics. Achal, all yours.
Okay, so let's start with today's session. So we are first going to talk about objects in Salesforce. So let's quickly understand what are objects in Salesforce. Now Salesforce objects are nothing but database tables which permit us to store data. Now let's first understand what these database tables are in Salesforce. A database is a simple way where we collect and organize information in series of rows and columns. Now, an easy way to understand this example is in the form of an Excel sheet, which you can see on the screen right now. Now, if you have used Excel before, you have already used a database. Okay, so it is as easy as that. This data table, or the table which you are seeing on screen, it is a specific collection of data points which is organized by rows and columns. In database terminology, a table holds the data points that represents a theme. So in this example, the theme over here is user details. So each of the row in this Excel sheet is having different user details. Now Salesforce changes the terminology of this data table a little bit, and now these tables are known as objects in Salesforce terminology. The objects are the data tables in Salesforce. Now within this table, we have rows and columns. Each row is referred to as a record. Okay, every record contains individual data points that would sum up to that record. In this example, as you can see, we have highlighted the row of user Manish. So if you read across the row, we would see that the data points are unique to this user Manish. This is one record in this object user. Now the columns contain a range of data which is specific to the column name. Over here we have highlighted the email column. Now all of these columns is equivalent to a field in Salesforce. Now fields can have different types, which we will cover in later sessions, but each field contains a specific data set. Okay, as you will read in each of these columns, you will see similarity in the data and the relationship to the column name or the field name. So this is what an object is in Salesforce. So now let's understand what are the two different basic objects which we can use in Salesforce. So there are two types of objects in Salesforce, the very basic types, standard and custom. Now the objects which are already created for you by Salesforce.com, those are your standard objects. Now whenever you unwrap any brand new Salesforce org, like your developer org for say, you will notice that there is some functionality which is already set up for you for use. This includes your standard objects like accounts, contacts, cases, opportunities, leads. Now, what Salesforce does not have out of the box functionality that would suit your business need, those would come under your custom objects. And now custom objects are the one which you would create on your own. These are the objects which you build to satisfy your business needs. So let's first understand what is a standard object in Salesforce. Now, as we already discussed, a standard object is an object which is already created by Salesforce.com and given to us. It has some standard fields which are already there. Now we can customize this standard object by creating our own fields. Example of some very basic and important standard objects in Salesforce, which is account, contact, opportunity, lead, campaign. In order to understand the functionality of all of these basic standard objects, let's understand this by a basic sales application, which is depicted by this diagram over here. So let's say there's a company which is manufacturing laptops, ABC Limited, which is trying to sell a certain product. And now this company wants a default CRM application in Salesforce for this need. Now, every company needs a marketing strategy. And for these marketing strategy, you would have some promotional events or you would have some seminars. So all of the information about these seminars or these promotional events would be stored in a standard object known as campaign. Now, in those promotional events or from anywhere, there will be people who would show interest or who would inquire about your product. Those are your leads, and all of that information is stored in a lead object. For example, Manish from SFDCFacts inquire about any product of ABC Limited. So now Manish becomes a lead to us. Now some of the people out of these leads become an opportunity to us, but not all of them. So only the people who show actual interest, those are broken down into account, opportunity, and contact. So account over here stores the company information, opportunity is the deal. I mean, what is the product? How many numbers of product do you want? Contact stores the individual information. Now, whenever you're converting a lead, Salesforce uses the information which is stored in the lead record to create a business account, a contact, and an opportunity. Now, handing over to Manish for lab exercise.
Thanks, Anchal. That was a great explanation, actually. So guys, if you have gone through our last video, we have asked you to create your own developer org. So I'm assuming that you all have your own developer org created by now, because to understand these exercises that we are going to explain from now onwards, you actually need your own developer org to actually practice those exercises there. So for now, I'm assuming that you have your developer org. So as soon as you sign in your developer org, you will see this screen. So this is a application which is a sales application. So you will see on the top left corner it's written as sales. So this is the application name, and there are multiple tabs here. So as Anchal was talking about some of the standard objects, so you will see these tabs as the objects here. So there is account tab that represents the account standard object, there is a contact tab which actually lists down all the contacts or the standard contacts in your org. There is a opportunity tab, that means it is a standard opportunity object. Similar to that, there are multiple standard objects that you can actually explore, or you can actually view the record for those particular objects. Now I'm going to take a question here. So some of you actually said, like, when you are creating your developer org, you are seeing the verification link in Japanese language. So please right click on your browser and use translate to English to get the English version of your Japanese language, and then you can verify your account. As soon as you will verify your account, come to your org, click on settings to change your language. Here you need to come to language and time zone, and here your locale must be set to Japanese. You just need to set it to Indian time zone, and the language you can set to English. Then you will be good to go. If any of you are facing with a issue with Japanese language, you can change it to English like this. So back to you, Anchal.
Okay, so now let's talk about what is a custom object in Salesforce. As I previously told you, there would be a case or a scenario where the objects which are provided to us by the Salesforce out of the box functionality will not suit our business need. This is where our custom objects will come into play. These are the objects which we create, okay, to satisfy our own business needs. So let's take an example where we have a courier company. That company would want to create a custom object in order to store the schedule and the dispatch details for every week. Or if we say any company would want to store their budget details. So we would be creating this custom objects, we would be creating the custom fields according to our needs, and we would be storing that data in those specific custom objects. Now, custom tab is something which is required to build records for this object, which will be covered in the lab session to have a better understanding visually. Now, the names of custom objects. Now, here comes the basic difference between standard and custom objects. Whenever you will be creating custom objects, supposedly you are giving it a name as an employee. In the backend, which would also be the API name of the custom object, it would add a suffix of $_C to it. But your standard objects will never be having $_C. So if you want to differentiate between a standard and the custom object, you can see the API name. Let's discuss some properties of custom objects. So you can create custom fields. We already know what fields are in objects. You can create page layout in custom objects. So page layout is where you would add your fields. I mean, what all fields you want to see when you are creating a record for a custom objects. So page layout come into play over there. Custom tabs, I already told you, it's a tab which would help you to create a record for that custom objects. And also your custom objects can be related to other objects or to other data tables within Salesforce. Now, when to use custom objects? Now, when you might be having this question, like when you already have standard objects, why do you want to go for custom objects? So as I explained you previously also, when a business case cannot be developed using standard objects, you would go for custom objects. And custom objects are used to extend the functionality of the standard objects, and custom objects are always specific to your organization. Now, handing over to Manish for lab exercise for custom objects.
Thanks, Anchal. So guys, now you have understanding about the custom object, why we use them, and now actually see how you can create a object in Salesforce. So let's go back to our developer org and come to this gear icon on the top right corner, which is called setup, and here you will see a menu called setup. Just click on it, so it will take you to this page. So this is the setup window of Salesforce application. You can actually compare this with a start menu in the Windows laptop. So here actually you can find everything in the Salesforce application. So just what you need to do, you just need to type object here, because we are going to create an object. As soon as you type object here, you will see different options. So what you need to do, you just need to go on object manager. So either you can go like this, or you see the object manager tab right beside the home tab here. So I'll just click on this object manager here, so it will take me to the next tab. And here what you need to do, you will see this create button on the top right corner. So it says create custom object, so just click on it. So we are going to create our event object. Since SFDCFacts is hosting events, so we need actually data table which can host the event data.
Here on this screen, you need to type the label of your custom object. So the label is something that will appear whenever you will see your object name on the UI. And this object name here, it is something for to refer in the programming languages like Apex. So the double underscore C that Anchal was talking about will be appended to this object name here. Apart from that, for now, just leave the default setting as it is and just click on save. So as soon as you click on the save, you will see that there is a new object has been created in Salesforce, which is named as event double underscore C. So this is the API name for that. And you can actually come to this field and relationship tab here to see the fields of this particular object. So there are 4 fields that Salesforce has already created for us. It's like created by, the event name, last modified by, and owner. So just creating the event object is not sufficient because you will not be able to insert the data in this particular object. So what you need to do, you actually need to create a tab for this custom object as well. So similar to what I was talking about previously, so you see a tab for each and every standard object here. So we need to create a tab for our custom object as well. So let's go to this setup menu again. So you can come here again and type in tab here. So everything that you want to do in Salesforce, you actually need to come to the setup menu to search for it. And here you will see a tabs option. Click on this. And now you will see like everything is empty here. So you will see something called custom object tabs here. So you are going to click on this. And in the object, we actually need to select our custom object, which we just created. So the name is event. So you will see it on the drop down menu here. And then you need to select the tab style. So just click on this lookup icon here, or maybe like you can directly click on this bar here. And here you can select any of the theme for you guys. For me, I'm going to use headset. Just click on next. And now here actually you can control the visibility of this tab. So we are going to discuss this later on. For now, just leave it as it is and just click on next. And now here you are going to actually assign this particular tab to different applications. So this is again we are going to cover on later point of time. For now, just leave it as it is and just save, or maybe like deselect all of these now, because we don't want to include our tab in any of the existing application. And I'll just save. So deselect all of these and just click on save. So now we have created a tab for our object. So how you can actually see this object now? So do you see this app launcher icon just beside the setup menu? Just click on here and type in event. Because we created the custom tab, you will see it under this option. And as soon as you click on this event tab here, you are going to see a tab on your screen. Let it load. Yep. So there's a new tab that has got created for us. And here you can actually see the record of this particular object. For now, we don't have any record, but we are going to create some of the records in coming up sessions for sure. Achal, back to you now.
Yeah, thank you, Manish. So now we know what are objects in Salesforce. We are going to talk about what is an application in Salesforce. So applications are a container for all of the objects, tabs, processes, and services which you create in Salesforce. So understanding an app, it is nothing more than a collection of tabs where this becomes important when you grow in Salesforce platform and you end up having a lot of tabs. So, for example, you are having a lot of standard tabs, which would include your leads, your contacts, your accounts, opportunities, cases, whatever it might be. Okay, but then you also might be having a bunch of custom tabs as well for your custom objects, and your users, and for your specific users, you really want to tailor the experience so that they only see the tabs which are specific to their job role. For example, you would want that the salespeople should only see the objects which are specific to their job role, and the service people should see only the tabs which are specific to their job roles. Okay, so that is where applications come into picture. Now, an application generally consists of a name, a description, and or a list of tabs, and optionally a custom logo and a landing page. Now, Salesforce provides us some standard applications like sales, service, marketing, community, etc. And you can also create your own custom applications in Salesforce. Now, handing over to Manish to have a better understanding of Salesforce application via lab exercise.
Okay, so we have just created a custom object for ourselves, but if you notice in the end, I just told you to don't include this particular object in any of the tab or in any of the application. So what did I mean there is like there are some standard application that Salesforce provides us, which Anchal was just talking about. So these are some standard application that Salesforce has given us. So they are actually designed for a specific use case. So the sales application is actually designed for the sales process where you will see all the sales objects or sales tabs like accounts, opportunities, and leads, where the service app is actually designed to handle the service part of a business. So here you will see the objects like account, cases, contracts, and those stuff. And similar to that, there's marketing and other standard Salesforce application. So for our use case, since it's not something that Salesforce is providing us by default, we are going to create our own custom application, and we will include our event object in that particular application. So let's see how you can do it actually. Again, we need to go to our setup menu, and here you need to type app, and you will see option called app manager here. So just click on this app manager. Here we will see two options called lightning app and the connected app. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a lightning app. Just click on this lightning app here and give your application a name. So I'm going to give my application name like SFDCFacts event. Since this application will be used to handle all the event management part of SFDC Facts, so I'm going to give a name of SFDC Facts events. The developer name will be picked automatically based on your app name, and in the description, we can give something like now it also asking about the image or your logo that you can put here. So I'm going to upload SFDC Facts logo here. Just select your logo here and it will be uploaded like this. Now you can actually click on next. And after clicking on next, you will see two options called standard navigation and the console navigation. So for now, let everything be default and click on next again. And here you will see adding utility bar item. So we are not going to add any utility bar item. So just click on next again. And now this is interesting screen. So here actually you can add objects to your application. So what we are going to do, we are going to add our event object to this particular application. So how you can do it? In the search bar, just type event and you will see this option event. Just drag it to the right side or just click on this button to just move it to the right side bar. As soon as you move it to the right hand side, just click on next. And now it is asking for the profiles where you want to give access to this particular application. So I'm going to give this access to system administrator, standard user, and standard platform user. And just click on this button to move these three profiles to the right hand side and just click on save and finish. So now you have created your own application. So how you can find it actually? Just again go to your app launcher here on the top left corner. And here you will see in the end you have created your own application. So you can actually drag and drop here and you can just bring it to the front and just click on this. If you click on this application, you will see there is an event tab has been added to this particular application because we have added our event object to this particular application. So in future also we are going to add a few of our next objects to this particular application so that we can actually manage each and everything about SFDC Facts event from the same screen. So this is all about the application in Salesforce and the objects in Salesforce.
So custom object creation considerations. Now, whenever you are creating a custom object, there are some basic things we should you should keep in mind. Okay, so there is a standard name field on custom object, which is a required field. So it should be present in the related list as well as the page layouts. And we should always be and whenever you are creating a custom object, you should always be thoughtful about the name of the custom object. We should not give any random name, and the name of the custom object should be always descriptive. Also, the field's name should always be descriptive. It should show clarity about why you want to create that custom object. Okay, now and whenever you are creating objects in Salesforce, you must be before adding all the custom fields and adding those custom fields to the page layout, you should first define the object relationships between different objects, and only then you should go on to create your custom fields and page layouts. And the third point is that you should always have meaningful names for your custom objects. Whatever would be the plural name of that custom object, that would be the name that would show up on the custom tab of that object. So these were some custom object considerations which you should always take care of whenever you are creating any custom object. So yes, so these are some important resources which you should go through in order to have a better understanding about data modeling and understanding the difference between standard and custom objects.
So thanks, Achal. Thanks for uh, explaining the considerations as well. So the consideration part that we are including in our slide, guys, is please do take care of those considerations, because Salesforce is a cloud technology and there are so many limitations that you need to be aware about to actually start using Salesforce. Because the resources that you are going to use, they are shared by multiple customers. So we are going to explain the considerations of each and every topic that we are going to explain in a particular day, and you just need to keep those consideration in mind before you actually start implementing solutions using those particular topics. Now, in the end, again, I will request you to be a multiplier. Share these sessions with all your network. Share your knowledge with all your network. Whatever you learn today, share this with at least 2 people in your network so that they can actually share it with another 2 people. So be a multiplier, and you can again use hashtag SFAB and hashtag SFDCFacts on your tweets or posts so that we can actually track the awareness as well. So like, keep tweeting us, ask your question on Twitter, or you can ask a question on this on the comment section of this video as well. And obviously we are going to take your questions now. So Narendra, do we have any questions for today?